Greetings, welcome to Module 3, Unit 8 on Merrill's first principles of learning. In earlier units, we referred to Merrill, but in this unit, we will try to explore Merrill's principles in greater detail. In the previous unit, we saw how to use a variety of instructional components in classroom. And in this unit, we will understand Merrill's 5 first principles of learning. We know that we have a wide variety of instructional approaches, instructional methods, instructional architectures that are being used across the world. The research into the educational technology, instruction design theory has produced a wide variety of instructional models. Is there something that is common to most of these models? That was Merrill's vision. Distill a set of interrelated prescriptive principles for instruction design. Now, these principles are to be independent of any specific instructional model or instructional method. That means that these principles must be the ones followed in most of the instructional models or instructional methods, either explicitly or implicitly by this name or by some other name. But Merrill wanted to extract such principles which are common across most of the successful instructional models or instructional methods. And he is very clear that these principles are not in and of themselves a model or a method of instruction. These principles can be implemented by different models and different instructional methods. The actual terminology may differ in some of those models, as we will see in the subsequent units, but the underlying principle, the spirit of it is same. And further, Merrill wanted these principles to be prescriptive in nature. That means they are design oriented. Just they do not describe what is, but they are prescriptive and give guidelines for designing the instructional method or instructional model. So, these are interrelated prescriptive principles. And Merrill came out with 5 principles as the first principles. He calls them as first principles because they are very basic to the design of any instructional model or instructional method. So, these 5 first principles of learning are programs and practices use some or all of these first principles, as we noticed. And Merrill's thesis is that effectiveness, efficiency and engagement of a particular model or method of instruction is a function of the degree to which these principles are implemented. That means the more extensive the implementation of these principles, the more effective, efficient and engaging will be the instruction. As all the 5 principles get implemented, Merrill's thesis is that the instruction is likely to be very highly effective, efficient and engaging. Because it is not that there are no situational principles involved. Instructional situations we have touched upon in earlier units, they might slightly modulate the effectiveness or efficiency or engagement, but broadly these are universal principles. The 3 E's of the instruction would be enhanced if these 5 principles are implemented into the instructional method. That is Merrill's thesis. We do not have too much of empirical evidence to back it up, but intuitively all of us teachers would see that these principles make sense. They appear to be universal in nature. Learning from a given instructional method will be facilitated in direct proportion to the implementation of these 5 first principles of instruction. What we will do in this unit is present Merrill's the 5 first principles of learning and then discuss one model that implements all these 5 principles in the next unit. A variety of models can implement these principles, as we already noted, And in the subsequent units, when we look at other instructional approaches, we will try to see where they correspond to these Merrill's 5 first principles of learning also. So, the 5 first principles of learning as identified and stated by Merrill are task centered principle, activation principle, demonstration principle, application principle, integration principle. The first one is task centered principle. Learning is promoted when learners engage in a task centered instructional strategy. Now, when Merrill says task, it is not like an exercise problem that we give at the end of the class. Merrill really wants the students to engage with a whole task, a task whose nature is quite similar to the kind of tasks that the students would have to face when they really start practicing the profession. So, learning from task centered instructional strategy is enhanced when learners undertake a simple to complex progression of whole tasks. Now, it is quite obvious that at the very beginning the learners may not be very comfortable with highly complex tasks. So, we can start with a fairly simple task, but the task must be a whole task. That is Merrill's thesis, and gradually we can increase the complexity of the whole tasks which are presented to the learners, and initially the support of the instructor in the form of direct instruction, hints, suggestions, etc. can be quite extensive, but as learners progress through a succession of more complex whole tasks, gradually the instructor must withdraw her support so that learners can solve those tasks, work on those tasks in a more or less independent fashion. So, direct instruction, but in the context of authentic real world problems or tasks. Now, what really we mean by the authentic real world problems? This is different in general. This approach is different from topic centered instructional strategies, which is probably more popular than task centered strategy. In a topic centered instructional strategy, what typically happens is that the all relevant component skills required to solve a problem are actually first presented before actually getting to solve the problem. That means it is a kind of a bottom up approach where the different skill sets are first imparted, maybe with a caveat, you may not realize its importance now, but you will see this in a subsequent lesson, something like that. So, we present first all the basic skills, then we try to solve a task based on these competencies. The task centered instructional strategy starts with a whole task upfront. We start with a task, the complexity may be low, but the nature of the task is quite similar to the nature of the tasks that the learners would have to solve when they become professional. So, the kind of tasks that they encounter during their later profession, that becomes the model for presenting the whole tasks. At each level of the task, the instruction cycle is repeated, and then we move to a more complex task. A minimal task centered instructional strategy would be a single task, but Merrill very strongly advocates that unless there are situational constraints, it is better to have a progression of increasingly complex tasks rather than a single task. And he suggests that initially the instructor's support can be extensive, but gradually instructor must withdraw her support so that the students, the learners can engage with the problem independently. And as the complexity increases from low to high, the support of the instructor actually becomes less and less, so that the learners can become comfortable attacking a more complex problem. But if there are situational constraints, a minimal task centered strategy can be a single task, but it should be a whole task. This, as just now I mentioned, is not same as problem based. problem based learning tends to be more of an open-ended exploration by students to find a solution to the problem, and they learn from each other and from the resources initially provided by the instructor and from the resources subsequently explored by the students as they proceed with the solution of the problem. So, it is a more open-ended exploratory nature. In fact, in a later unit, we will study the problem-based approach to instruction in greater detail. Task-centered instructional strategy, by contrast, is actually a form of direct instruction, but in the context of real-world problems. So, the instructor is in control. The instructor essentially controls the pace of the class. It is a form of direct instruction, but it occurs in the context of real-world problems. The key principle, next principle, is activation principle. What Merrill says is that most of the instructional models that are effective, efficient and engaging have this component. Learning is promoted when learners activate relevant cognitive structures by being directed to recall, describe or demonstrate the prior knowledge or experience that is relevant to the current competency. What essentially this means is that knowledge is constructivist kind of a theory. In constructivist kind of a theory, knowledge is built upon the previous knowledge that the learners already have. So, that becomes the foundation on the building the new knowledge, and the learners integrate the new knowledge into what they already have. That is how learning proceeds. That is the thesis. So, before commencing with new knowledge to be imparted to the students, instructor must ensure that learners recall the relevant previous knowledge base. Relevant because the model that they already have built up from the previous knowledge must help the students in absorbing the new knowledge that is being imparted. So, the relevant framework must be recalled by the students. Learning from activation is enhanced when learners share previous knowledge and experience with one another. In the process of the activation of the previous knowledge, this would be a good strategy to ensure that all the students really recall their previous knowledge background which is relevant. So, by sharing these experiences, the peers can recall their own individual experiences, their own previous knowledge background, their own mental models, compare them, and if there are differences they can discuss. So, the students can engage in a kind of a collaborative effort whereby they reinforce each other's recollection of the previous knowledge base. And learning from activation is enhanced when learners recall or acquire a structure for organizing this new knowledge. It is very important that there is a structure into which the knowledge gets integrated. Randomly trying to pick up pieces of information would not really contribute to any deep learning by the students. And the learners must have a correct mental model, a structure which can accommodate the new learning. So, instructor must help the learners in invoking or recollecting the proper mental model by trying to extract from the students what they currently have, the idea, and then making them discuss with each other, present the ideas, and then ensure that they start with a appropriate mental framework. So, directing learners to recall relevant cognitive structures learned earlier and checking that it is relevant to the current task help learners by ensuring that appropriate mental model is invoked. By themselves, learners may not be able to recollect a proper model from the earlier knowledge, which is relevant and appropriate for the current knowledge. So, instructor must guide them, instructor must help them, let the students recall the model and let them engage in a discussion, and instructors can help them correct the picture of the mental model if necessary. So, learning is enhanced when they recall appropriate mental model. Such an appropriate model helps the learners during the subsequent phases of the instruction, that is during demonstration, application and reflection. So, this is a very important step, and in some instructional models this plays a dominant role, but in some experiences Merrill has noticed, and some of us also would have noticed, that instructor skips this phase, then the learners are really not prepared properly for receiving the new knowledge. Sharing previous experiences provides vicarious experience to the peers. Others can actually experience what someone who is presenting the model describes, and it stimulates similar recollection in them, which helps the entire class to be ready with proper requisite mental models invoked in the minds of all the learners. So, this is the extremely important principle before the commencement of the delivery of the new content. The next important principle is demonstration. Learning is promoted when learners observe a demonstration of the skills to be learned that is consistent with the type of content being taught. Merrill uses a different terminology. The content he categorizes that as classification type, or following a procedure type, or answering what if kind of a questions, but we are following Bloom's taxonomy. So, we can say that what essentially is meant by this principle is that the demonstration must be consistent with the course outcome or the competency that is being taught in this particular session. So, the demonstration must be consistent with the course outcome. Depending upon the level at which the cognitive process of the relevant CO is situated, demonstration must happen at the same cognitive level. If the CO is at analyze level, the instruction, the demonstration must be at the analyze level. Very broadly, what Merrill is trying to say is that the demonstration of the skills to be learned must be consistent with the type of content being taught. And learning from demonstration is enhanced by peer discussion and peer demonstration. The learners must not be passive absorbers of whatever is being presented, but they must actively participate, and they can discuss among themselves, and they can also demonstrate their skills where required, but an active interaction between the learners and the instructor would promote learning. So, learning from demonstration is enhanced by peer discussion and peer demonstration, and learning from demonstration is enhanced when learners are guided to relate an organizing structure to specific instances. The very broad principles must be related to specific instances of the application of those principles. So, the demonstration would include the general principles as well as specific instances where these principles are being applied, and learners must be able to have an organizing structure relating the previous knowledge and the current knowledge to the general principles as well as the specific instances. And learning from demonstration is enhanced when learners observe through the media that is relevant to the content. Depending upon the nature of the content, the type of the CO, one may has to use text or graphics or simulations or actually working models. Whatever media that we are using, that must be consistent with the competency that we are trying to promote in the learners. That essentially means that the media must be consistent with the course outcome or the competency. So, learning from demonstration is enhanced when learners observe through media that is relevant to the content. Now, learner guidance is quite helpful in making learner focus on critical elements of the demonstration. So, while demonstration is happening, instructor can point out to the critical elements and guide the learners into observing, reflecting on and using those critical points, critical elements of the demonstration. So, learner guidance is quite essential. Even with invocation of a mental model of prior learning, it is possible that sometimes in the early phases learners miss some of the critical elements of the demonstration. So, learner guidance is still present. And Merrill distinguishes between information and portrayal during the demonstration. Essentially what this means in terms of the Bloom's taxonomy is something like remember level and apply level, remember, understand level and apply level. Information is presentation of the general principles and learners must be able to recall it. Portrayal is demonstration of the general principles with specific cases and learners must be able to apply the principles to any given case. Depending upon the nature of the content, instructor must provide appropriate guidance to the learners during information and portrayal. Based on the nature of the content, demonstration must use appropriate media as we already mentioned, text, graphics, simulation, whatever would be the most relevant. Then application principle. Learning is promoted when learners engage in application of their newly acquired knowledge that is consistent with the type of content being taught. Once again, in terms of Bloom's taxonomy, the application must be consistent with the cognitive process level of the concerned CO or competency. So, if it is a competency that is at the level of analyze, students must engage in an activity that is at analyze level. If it is at apply, it is at apply level. So, the application principle of Merrill is used in a very broad sense that essentially is not the apply of Bloom, but basically it is engaging with a problem at a cognitive level that is consistent with the cognitive level of the CO or the competency. So, when learners engage in application of their newly acquired knowledge that is consistent with the type of content being taught, which essentially means consistent with the CO or competency. Learning from an application is effective when learners receive corrective feedback. It is very important that learners receive corrective feedback when they are engaged in the application. And learning from application is enhanced by peer collaboration. This has been recognized in almost all the instructional situations that peer collaboration promotes learning. Learning from an application is enhanced when learners are coached and when this coaching is gradually withdrawn for each subsequent task. As we mentioned, we have a progression of increasingly complex tasks. In the initial stages, the coaching, the help from the instructor can be quite substantial. But as learners proceed with more complex problems, the coaching, the support from the instructor must be gradually reduced, withdrawn, and finally the learners must be able to engage with the task completely on their own. That should be the goal. So, these cycles are repeated until the learners are able to engage with a whole task all by themselves. And this is another important principle of Merrill. So, application principle. And Merrill also actually notes that the learning is promoted when the time gap between demonstration and application is as small as possible. That means, as the learners see the demonstration, they must be able to engage in the application as quickly as possible. Then the last important principle, which probably is ignored in most of the instructional situations, is integration principle. Learning is promoted when learners integrate their newly acquired knowledge into their internal cognitive structures by being directed to reflect and discuss it. Quite often the instructors do say think about it and leave it at that. Actually, that think about it is nothing but this integration principle, and that requires conscious effort from the instructor to engage the students in the reflection process. So, the integration of the newly acquired knowledge into the existing knowledge is an extremely important aspect of deep learning by the students. Learners can use a variety of techniques to integrate this knowledge and to ensure that it stays with them. One of the things can be that learners can publicly demonstrate their new knowledge. When they are able to publicly demonstrate this new knowledge in its application, it is likely that it stays with them for much longer periods. Some of the specific details they may not be able to recollect after a long gap, but the general application context would stay with them. And learning from integration is enhanced by peer critique. When you are trying to defend your own newly acquired knowledge or defend your own point of view, if the peers can review that, critique that, and if we are defending it, in a sense we are playing the role of the teacher, because the learner is now demonstrating his or her newly acquired knowledge. So, in some sense it is the role of the teacher, and as we all know, in most of the cases the teacher learns more than the student. That is because you are trying to defend a position, you are trying to argue a position, you are trying to apply a skill. So, the learning will be stronger when students play that role, and learning from integration is enhanced when learners create, invent or explore personal ways to use their new knowledge or skills. The more the opportunities for the learners to apply their newly acquired knowledge in real contexts that are relevant to them, the stronger will be the learning and the longer will be the retaining of this new knowledge. So, this principle is a very important principle where the students, the learners are encouraged to integrate their newly acquired knowledge with the existing knowledge, and it helps learners in retaining what is learnt, and reflection is promoted through peer discussion and peer critique, and opportunities for learners to publicly demonstrate their newly acquired competency can be a great motivator, and learners, when they use their newly acquired competencies in their personal context, learning is likely to be more stable. So, we can look at the Merrill's model as a 4-phase cycle of learning centered around a whole task, a realistic task, a task whose nature is quite similar to the kind of tasks that the learners will face in their professional life. So, the first phase is activation, where the prior mental models are invoked, preparing the learners to receive the new information. The next phase is demonstration, where the instructor demonstrates the competency that is to be acquired and demonstrated by the students, and this demonstration depends upon the cognitive process and knowledge category of the relevant CO or competency. This is followed by the learners engaging with the task, applying their newly acquired knowledge. So, that is the application phase. At the end, very important, an integration phase where learners integrate their newly acquired knowledge into their existing knowledge, and the whole thing is consolidated, and appropriate activities are initiated like group discussion, reflection, writing a journal, which promotes retaining this competency for longer periods. So, it is a 4-phase cycle of learning centered around a specific realistic task, and during this there is a subtle structure, guidance, coaching, reflection cycle that goes on. During the activation phase, what actually the instructor is promoting is helping the learners recall a structure. During the demonstration, the instructor is essentially providing a guidance or playing the role of an expert. During the application phase, the instructor is actually playing the role of a coach, trying to help the students apply their newly acquired knowledge. And as we notice, the coaching is gradually withdrawn. And during the final phase, the instructor must promote reflection in the learners. So, the 4-phase cycle of instruction has actually a sub-cycle of structure, guidance, coaching and reflection. The better the understanding of the instructor of this subtle cycle, the more effective the instruction can be. And Merrill generally believes that information only instruction with remember what I told you questions at the end, tagged at the end, is considered as a very low level instructional strategy. That means it is a one way flow and there is no activation phase, there is no application phase, there is no reflection phase. So, this Merrill considers it to be a very low level instructional strategy. As more of the first principles of learning get implemented in the instructional strategy, the instructional strategy will reach higher levels. For example, if the instructional strategy includes the activation phase, then the learning will be one level higher. And if it includes a task centered strategy where the entire learning happens around a realistic task, a whole task, then the learning reaches next higher level. And if opportunities are provided for learners to apply their newly acquired knowledge, the learning reaches still higher level. The instructional strategy becomes still higher level strategy. And if the strategy includes a conscious promotion of reflection on the part of the learners, then we will get the highest level of instructional strategy. That is Merrill's thesis. We do not have too much of empirical evidence to support this, but intuitively it looks fairly clear, and Merrill, with his vast experience in the field of instructional design theory and with his vast experience with various models, feels confident that by and large this is true. Though the specificities of the instructional situations might slightly modulate these effects, by and large this philosophy that the instructional strategy becomes better and better with the adoption of more and more of these 5 principles is generally true. And if an instructional design model incorporates all these 5 first principles of learning, then it is likely to be quite effective, efficient and engaging. And that is essentially the background behind the Merrill's principles. And one exercise: assess the extent to which your favorite instructional strategy or strategies, whatever you have been using over the years in different courses taught by you, your favorite instructional strategy or strategies, incorporate Merrill's 5 first principles of learning. Assess the extent to which the Merrill's 5 first principles are present. Thank you for sharing the results of the exercise at tail.iacta@gmail.com. And in the next unit, we will look at an instructional design based on Merrill's 5 first principles of learning. It will be a model which incorporates all the 5 first principles of learning. We have touched upon this model in the earlier units also. We will try to explore that model in a little bit more detail and see the correspondence between that model and Merrill's 5 first principles of learning. Thank you, and we will meet again with the next unit. Thank you.